District leaders say they don't want to scare voters by talking about what would have to be cut if the referendum doesn't pass. But the fact of the matter is that there would be difficult funding decisions to make. While this is a renewal of a current tax and not a new tax, the superintendent admits it's not an easy time to ask voters for approval.
There you go.
There is no typical day inside Shelly Sparrow's classroom.
Can you tell him what its name is?
Her name is Nugget.
Today it's chickens.
It's going to go forward, okay?
Tomorrow it's robots.
Well, we've also been working on coding, right?
Sparrow is the Project Lead the Way teacher at Mishawaka's Liberty Elementary School. Each of the district's 6 elementary schools hired a PLTW teacher and launched the introductory STEM education program a couple years ago using COVID emergency funding.
This is kind of our science and computer science curriculum for the school. And so the kids come to me, and I have 21 classes, so it's close to 500 kids.
Mishawaka High School has had Project Lead the Way curriculum for several years.
Almost there.
District leaders say these new elementary experiences set the stage for kids to get this hands-on learning earlier.
One of the biggest things I see, though, is I saw it with my own children, that how do you know what career you want to go in? Well, how do you know you want to do that if you've never experienced it? So we do a lot of different things. Now put your finger on the colorful lights and move it back and forth so it blinks. There you go. Good job. Okay.
On the day we visited, students were playing with robots.
If something doesn't work, remember we're talking about problem solving, right?
Soon they will learn to code them. There are future projects planned on flight simulations, stop motion animation, and animals.
So as a mom, as often as last night, my daughter's like, let me tell you what happened with my robot.
Liberty Elementary School principal and mom, Rebecca Cummings, has seen the difference the PLTW classes are making for the young learners here. Teachers throughout the building are also incorporating PLTW topics into what they're already doing in the classroom.
That interest that it has sparked in some of these kids, I can just see they light up about it and they can't wait to participate.
The PLTW program here at Liberty and the other elementary schools in Mishawaka is one of the programs on the line when voters go to the polls in May.
So what we're asking for is a renewal of the referendum, the operating referendum that was passed in 2016.
School City of Mishawaka Superintendent Theodore Stevens met with us at the WSBT studios to talk about what's at stake.
It's our job and my job to try to get the information out as much as possible to the voters of School City of Mishawaka as to why we need this operating referendum to be able to serve the kids in the community of School City of Mishawaka.
Stevens says the referendum brings in about $2.7 million a year. He says the money will be used primarily for people. The PLTW teachers like Sparrow, some social workers, instructional coaches, and technology staff. And the district is hoping to add a school resource officer in each elementary building. We
want to position ourselves to be sort of that premier school corporation that draws students in and families to come to our school. And this is one way, or our schools, and this is one way that we can believe we can do that.
Ultimately, it will be up to voters.
And then right there, believe it or not,
in the meantime, Sparrow will continue her work of getting kids engaged in whatever it is that interests them. Stevens says if approved, the tax rate for residents will stay the same. That's because it's a renewal of the existing operating referendum that was approved back in 2016. A political action committee will start work this month aimed at convincing voters to vote yes. Now, it is still early, but at this point, there is no organized opposition to the referendum. In the studio, Kristen Bean, WSBT 22 News.